Awesome. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I'm going to dive deep into the process of how to create a successful crowdfunding campaign and how to take your product from idea to reality. The basic concept is that for every $10 that we raise, we collect 1 pound of trash from the market. We started organizing cleanups, and we organized 10 cleanups in 4 countries with 378 volunteers, and we collected so far 5.5 tons of trash from the world with our ecological movement. Now let's dive deeper into the process itself. I believe that we can apply this equation to anything that we want to accomplish. Once we define the X, once we define what we want, we'll always follow a sequence of actions. The key here is to define what is the sequence of actions that will take me to accomplish these 10 steps. So everything begins with ideation. What is the problem you're trying to solve? And then I would jump into validating that problem. So actually ideation and validation has feedback loops. So it's not completely linear, but it's more of it's parallel of development. So I'll talk to people, that's what we need. The problem we identified was that microfiber towels don't absorb. They smell very bad. They are the only option travel towel for backpackers. I went and talked to more than 50 backpackers and then defined the target customer. Who is the target customer? Then I asked digital nomads, hey, once we defined the target customer, we started creating the perfect solution. Our process is very customer-centric. So it's creating the perfect experience for a very specific target customer. Okay, so then define mission and vision, define the product concept. So the concept is the 1 or 2 sentence definition of product. So the validation, we did it through interviews. We like surveys because you can gather statistics and data. And then also market research on Amazon, Kickstarter, and Google, looking at other solutions and also getting ideas from that and just incorporated all these different ideas with the feedback. After that, the plan step is creating a business plan in which we write down all the previous points. So problem, solution, target customer, mission, vision, etc., everything. And then we also add a competitive analysis. I created a competitive chart. A very important question is what makes me different? What makes my product unique? Then defining the unique value proposition. Then doing very important market size analysis, trying to define the TAM, the total addressable market. To analyze the market size is using a tool called Jungle Scout, and also another one is called Amazon Scout. And these are softwares that you add to Google Chrome, and they allow you to analyze the sales volume of products on Amazon. Then finding the budget, then define the team. Who do you need to create this product? Then creating something called the WBS, which is the work breakdown structure. It's like a graph that breaks down all the different components into tasks, creating a mind map of all the tasks that you need to execute in order to create this product. Then create a Gantt chart, which is a timeline to throw all the tasks, having deadlines for each one. Then we set up milestones, also create an expansion plan that said, okay, after the Kickstarter campaign is successful, how are we going to expand? Then after planning everything, we go to execution. The design, again, has to be based on all the feedback. I went back to the hostels with the prototype. I did 3 iterations of the prototype, then also designed the different rewards and perks. After that, it comes the sourcing, which is finding the manufacturer. I went to China, so I reached them out with the new design, and I got the cost of production and the time that it would take. I input that into budget. Then the shipping plan. I found this fulfillment center in China. They have a huge warehouse. They take products and they ship them around the world. Step number 6 is to create a campaign. The most important thing is the video. So we wrote the script with my co-founder. We validated it with our target customers. We did like 5 or 6 different versions. And then we created the video. So we put that script into the images. And then we created a project page. Then we created a few ads. Then ideally you would have to go into copyright and patenting the designs and all that. Kind of at the same time that you're creating the campaign, ideally you would start with a pre-launch, growing the Instagram with a target audience that is going to resonate with your values. Quite likely that some of them will convert. Ideally reach a PR to do media and blogs and send them the samples right before launch. Do the same with influencers, start testing the ads to improve the Facebook pixel. And then, so first we launched it on Kickstarter. The key of the success here depends pretty much on the ads performance. 90% of the money we raised came directly from Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube ads. Tracking the ads performance every day is very important. And after that, so we raised $152,000 on Kickstarter, and then we launched on Indiegogo on Demand. Indiegogo on Demand allows you to launch and keep raising money without a deadline. So the idea is that once you launch on Kickstarter, then you start manufacturing the product. While you are manufacturing, that takes a couple months usually. You run Indiegogo on Demand to keep raising more pre-sale, raising more funds. So for manufacturing, it's very, very important to write down a detailed purchase order in which you describe exactly the components that you want. You also define what's going to be the returns policy. We also made them sign a non-disclosure and non-compete agreement. I also requested a timeline, all the different stages of the manufacturing. We offer them an incentive that if they finish on time, you're going to pay them a bonus of $500. Then we're going to do a quality control inspection. I'm hiring a third-party inspection company, and I will have them inspect all the towels one by one, make sure they all look great. I have a checklist, an inspection checklist. So after quality control, we will send all the towels to the warehouse, and then you would start the shipping. After everyone gets their product, we are going to send them a satisfaction feedback survey and use this information, create the version 2 to redesign a little bit whatever we need to change on the towel and execute the expansion plan, expanding the sales through wholesaling, online, Amazon, Shopify, etc. For the marketing plan, and the key for our success was that we got $40,000 ads budget from a fund called Sprint. Sprint lends money for Kickstarter campaigns for the marketing budget. So it's super specific. So if your campaign does well, they lend tranches of $5,000 to keep injecting more and more money into the ads budget. And then we pay them back after the campaign finishes. We get all the money from Kickstarter, so we pay them back. Their interest is very low. And then they also connected us with the best marketing agency for crowdfunding. Then a very important point is to define the ROAS. The ROAS is the return on ads spent. You calculate ROAS by dividing the revenue by the amount of money you spend. So the ROAS has always to be bigger than the break-even point. You need to calculate your profit margin. And let's say if your profit margin is 50%, then the ROAS always has to be bigger than 2x. If profit margin is 30%, then the ROAS has to be bigger than 3x. Through this indicator, you make sure that you're not wasting money. So I'm going to be closing with the triple restriction. There are three main components in every project. That is the amount of money you have, the budget, the time, and the scope. Scope is the range. What do you want to create? If there's limited budget, then that will increase the amount of time that we have to dedicate or decrease the scope.